Hello and happy For Real Friday from Radically Rational and RadicallyRational.com. We'll start with sports because it's the weekend and I want to. Chargers got to be kicking themselves. They dominated that game at Kansas City in the first half last night, but they were only up 3 points. And if you follow the Chiefs, you knew at that point that ultimately the jig was up for the Bolts. Nice comeback. What they scored at one point, 20 consecutive points. Justin Herbert is still a stud, though, and I know he took that drilling to the chest late in the game. He's being x-rayed. We'll learn more today on Friday, but that guy is going to be a generational stud, and of course Mahomes already is. Okay, so my initial impression of the whole Amazon Prime thing, not quite ready for prime time. Now, it started with a positive. I was able to find the game. Okay, with BB's help, I was able to find the game, and that was a good thing. But they never got their audio problems straightened out, and that was a distraction. And some of the bells and whistles were, in my mind, a little too cool for school. Now, Al Michaels and Herb Street were stupendous together. Not that I would have expected anything else. They're both consummate pros. I thought Tony Gonzalez did well. I thought that Richard Sherman did well. And I thought that Fitzmagic was an absolute hoot. So that was really good. And I'm not being overly critical here because it was a shakedown cruise for everybody. But the panel host, Carissa Thompson, she just really could never find her groove last night. She didn't know what tone she wanted to play it in or what key, etc. And it really was kind of a misfit with the other people on the set. But it'll get better. So for now, if I were issuing a report card, I would just put INC for incomplete. I've said this twice before this week. I'm going to say it again. And I'm not being facetious here. I'm not. The Roadrunners are catching Texas at exactly the right time. Why? Because a lot of Longhorns and their fans are still giddy and wildly celebrating losing a football game. Keep an eye on this. And again, if you follow these things, Horns now a 12.5-point favorite. I don't do that kind of thing. But if I did, and there is no college football coach in America who is going to be under more pressure tomorrow than Jimbo Fisher. Lots of luck. Now, I still favor the Aggies straight up. I think they'll win the football game. I do. But it's not like Miami is not good enough to beat them because they absolutely are. Yay, Astros. They win again last night. They get Justin Verlander back tonight after 3 weeks with that calf strain. Let's hope he's good to go. Okay, now the other side of the coin. Mafia boss Don Corleone Trump is now openly calling for violence from his cultists if he's indicted. And that has no impact on some of you. And we know from experience that his morons will heed the call. But you're okay with it, or at least about 35% of you are. I don't really get it. All right, so now we're back to the whole blanket declassification thing. Well, I declassified all of them. Bibi made a really profound point at about 4:15 this morning. How can you declassify documents that you've been claiming was planted evidence all along? You're so damn busted. Okay, so dearie me, we now have a special master to examine and categorize all those stolen documents. I'm okay with Deary. After all, everybody loves Raymond. That's fine with me, with the exception of all the delaying tactics that are going on. You know, stunts are supposed to be funny, but they're not remotely funny or entertaining when they require human beings as props. These stunts are the works of cynical, partisan, tribal governors with no souls, no hearts, no brain, and no intellect. And it's all being done on this pretense that, well, these people are here illegally. No, they're not. They're asylum seekers, and they have gone through the process, and they are properly waiting for their hearing date. And now all that's screwed up. So not only is the action deplorable, its premise is 100% false. One more thing before I wish you a happy weekend. Tell me once again how there's no such thing as human-caused climate change. Have a good weekend. We're Radically Rational.